Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. I wish I'd put my sunglasses on for this. Today I'm going to be reviewing a Kubota Z411 zero-turn lawnmower. And just a little bit of background, you can see the thing behind you, it's green, everything's growing. So I recently got this thing out. My mower is about 5 years old. And the reason I bought this thing was my experience with big box store mowers. Most recently I had a Cub Cadet tractor, and I want to begin by saying that do not discount the value of a lawn tractor. You need to understand your terrain and your setting, but I was tired of constant maintenance, constant breakdown, constant failure with a lower end Cub Cadet. I called a dealership and talked to them, and they said, yeah, this was our low end entry, so they were not surprised at the trouble I was having. And I decided to go with the Kubota, and I'm going to walk you around it here in just a minute, show you some of the features. I'll tell you up front, the mower's not clean. I just got it out for the spring. I mowed once or twice, but not really cleaned it up, and not going to until I have to, because it's for using and not for looking at. But I want you to see some of the features that I found important, and I'll also show you some of the terrain and why I chose the features that I did. All right, you're looking up beside my house, and I'm just kind of scanning over because this is the area that causes the most trouble. My wife likes the shelter, she says, of the trees, but those pines dump tons of pine needles, tons of pine cones. They have a lot of roots on top of the ground, and I end up with a lot of trouble hitting those things. I hit the button the wrong way, didn't I? I wanted a mower that could fit in my shed. I wanted a mower that would not balk at this kind of demand. And let me spin around here. The backyard over here. Yes, I know I need to clean up the old wood pile. To the other side of the yard, nice and straight. You see the bottom of the lot down there, and it proceeds on up the hill. So I've got hills to deal with, but not severe. And I went with the Kubota Z411. It's a 20 horsepower mower, I believe, with a Kawasaki engine. One of the things I did is I talked to a man who his entire business is maintenance of lawnmowers. He's not affiliated with any particular brand, and he said Kubota got top notch in terms of endurance. I like the way he described it. He said basically they built a mower that you could pick up with a helicopter and drop from 50 feet in the air, and the mower would survive and keep mowing. Number one feature that I was after, well, two features. I wanted a zero turn because of all those trees. It took this lot, which is actually two lots here, the part I showed you over there plus here, it's about an acre and 3/4, between 2/3 and 3/4. And with a tractor style mower, it took in excess of 2 hours to mow this yard. With the Kubota zero turn, I mow the yard without pushing it. Now I was pushing the tractor to do that. This mower will mow the yard in an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes if I really, really take my time. But you see down at the bottom, the deck. Most big box store mowers have a stamped deck. Not all of them, but most of them. I wanted a fabricated deck. I wanted a hand welded deck or machine welded. I'm sure they use industrial process, but I wanted one that was welded plate metal, not just stamped sheet metal. And so many of those decks that rot out, I tell you what, do. Go on Craigslist, go on Facebook Marketplace, and just type in used riding mower. And I'll guarantee you, you're going to find a number of mowers that are for sale. And they'll say, all you need is a new deck. Well, guess what? This mower is 5 years old, and the deck is in perfect shape. In 5 years, and it'll be 5 years in just a month or so, this mower has had one maintenance failure. And that failure, underneath the mower, there is an idler pulley or a tensioning pulley, whatever you want to call it. that pulls the pulley tight against the hydraulic pumps that drive the wheel. It is pulled tight by a galvanized spring. And just next to where I'm standing, last year the mower just stopped all of a sudden. And I called the dealership and they laughed and said, yeah, we know what it is. It's a 50-cent spring. So I got that fixed the very next day, and we've been mowing ever since. I'm still on I believe I'm still on the first battery. I may have replaced it. I don't even remember. I have so few maintenance issues with this mower. The mower has an hour meter. The gas gauge, if you look under the seat on the faceplate down here, you see that groove kind of on the left there? That groove it's a window that shows the fluid level. Got a nice cushion seat, controls over here on this side, that big round knob, that's the deck adjustment. You push this pedal down here and just reach and turn the deck. It's such an easy adjustment. The mower, you've got a rollover protection system, which of course I don't use. I have some slope here, but not bad. But the mower has been a dream. When I put it up in the fall, often it sits over here under my deck. So I'll just show you. I've got a few other things here. How do I do this? It sits right there on that pad, or sometimes it'll sit in the building. I just have other things in the building right now. So I'll go out, and with no other work, I don't have to charge the battery. This thing has fired every spring after sitting out through the winter, either in the building or under that deck. So the engineering is great, the dependability is great, the functionality is great. I think the safety fixtures are great. Now, some things these things are not good at. Number one, they are not good at steep inclines. If you have steep inclines that you want to use a mower for, don't buy this mower. The voice of experience is talking here. Let me point you back up the hill here. See those trees? On the other side of those trees is a steep bank, and you hear the cars going by. It's where the road is, and there's a drainage ditch below them. And I tried to mow and push all the pine needles off. Let's just say it did not end well. So number one, the mowers do not deal with steep inclines at all. Number two, they do not deal with mud. If you put this mower in the mud, you're going to get stuck. You can't see over here through the trees, but behind, you can just barely see the outline there in the distance. There's a small mountain right there, and all of the water from that mountain drains down through the yard. And when you get down there where now my wood pile is, in excessive rain situations, I end up with a real soupy soil. And the first year I had this thing, I said, well, I'll get, not all the way down to the soupy part. I'll just get near it. The mower is heavy. And when it got to that soupy soil, not only did it spin, and it doesn't spin in a way that you can control it very well, but number two, the thing just actually sank down into the soil. I had to pull the tractor over to it and hook a chain and pull it out of the mud. So if you have a lot of mud that you're dealing with, these are not for you. But if you want a mower that is dependable, and here's the third reason I bought this. I couldn't afford to just go buy this mower. I was going to have to put it on a credit card. If I had went to a big box store, a Lowe's, a Home Depot, you pick the store. God forbid, do not try to buy one from Walmart. But I've bought the Lowe's mowers before, and since I wanted a zero turn, I knew I couldn't afford that. So I was going to have to put it on a credit card, which means I was going to be paying interest. Kubota, along with some of the other major manufacturers, offers Kubota's deal I know specifically was 5 years, 0% financing if you qualify. I went, signed my name, ran my credit. They said, sure, take it home. A couple days, well, they brought it home to me. And not only did the payment on this mower for 60 months was less than I was paying someone else to mow my yard each month, because the tractor had broken down, the Cub Cadet yard tractor. So it was a better bargain for me. I've got a better value for it. I've got much better service. I mow quicker than I did before, and I'm much happier mowing with this thing. it's actually a pleasurable experience. The reason that I am against big box mowers is pretty simple. I had a friend a few years ago who went to a factory where a brand name, and I don't remember the brand name. I wouldn't tell you if I did because I'm not here to throw off on any brand name. But if I were to say a brand name like Kubota, or one of the more recognized, it was not Kubota, I do know that, but I forget which brand name it was. But he said they had two lines of manufacturing doing the same mower, one on the right, one on the left, and he's walking down, and on the one side they're spitting out 25, 30, 40 mowers a day. On the other side, they're spitting out 5 mowers a day. Um, and the numbers may be even more exaggerated. It might have been 10 times the amount on one side as it was the other. And he asked the guide who was showing him through the factory, he said, why are you making so many more mowers on one side than the other and so much faster? He said, well, those are the mowers going to the big box stores. When you go to a big box store, not only do you get a mower that was manufactured with less inspection, manufactured more quickly with less detail, but they box these things up in, they're not completely assembled and shipped fully assembled. They box them up and they are assembled then when they arrive. When you buy a mower of any brand, whether you go Kubota or not is not my point here. When you buy a dealer mower, you have dealer-trained professionals who put the things together and they put them together right. When you go to a big box store, you get somebody who was hired off the street, and one guy puts together gas grills and another guy puts together mowers. And I bought one of those MTD mowers. They had a lot of names on them, but MTD made them all. They're not bad mowers, but I got home and the linkage in the steering wasn't tight. So the front tires, I had a lot of play in the front tires. Little things like that just don't make for a great experience, and I had far more trouble with mowers that I bought that way. Buy once, cry once. So I'll recommend Kubota for their dedication to quality. Hate to do what I'm about to do. My local Kubota dealership, which are good guys, but they need to learn a little bit more about customer service, and I've had great service from their service department, so I need to qualify this. But on a couple of occasions when I'm shopping, I walk on the lot and I walk around looking at mowers and nobody walks up to me. I walked in the dealership, nobody walks up to me. So I try to be genteel, I try to be polite, I try to be patient and wait my turn. And I see guys walking around and they're not helping the other customers, and I finally just had to say, hey, is anybody interested in helping me here? I'm wanting to buy a mower. There you go. The other thing I like about the Kubota finance plan, I did this even no down payment, just started making my monthly payments. The 5-year 0% interest not only got me a mower without paying interest, and by the way, the interest is built into the price, but it also gave full coverage to the mower. If a tire popped, I got a new tire. Now, there is a copay, of course, of something, but if the motor went out, I got a new motor. They even explained to me if this mower had been stolen, I would have paid a copay, probably, I don't know, $100, something like that, but I'd have got a brand new mower worth several thousand. So there's no replacing the benefit of quality and making good decisions. And if you want quality, it does come at a price. And I'm not saying that it was fun to pay what I paid for this mower, but I'm telling you, in the long run, it's been worth it, because I have a mower that, barring some unforeseen catastrophic failure, I'm looking at a mower, and I'm quoting my friend with the helicopter comment, I'm looking for at a mower that, now that it's paid off, I should get another 10, 15 years out of it with minimal treatment. I have talked to the Kubota people. They've told me some of the major things that fail on this mower is, these things have safety switches everywhere. He says the number one service call that they get is for the spring that I told you about, number one. Number two, for the safety switch under the seat. The switch just fails. You sit down, it doesn't recognize it, won't let you start the mower. Those are the two biggest failures. So that's not bad, because the list of failures on other mowers was tremendous. With the Cub Cadet that I had, the spindles on the deck time and time had to be replaced. Every couple of years, 2-3 years, they just didn't hold up well. So I asked about that when I bought this, and they said, well, to be honest, we don't even stock them in the maintenance department, the service department, because we never have to replace them. That tells you what kind of quality is engineered. So I hope that helps you to consider, even if you don't buy a Kubota, which I'm not representing Kubota and I don't get anything out of it, but I do get a lot of pleasure when people make informed decisions. Hope I've given you something to think about. So think about that fabricated deck with whatever mower you buy, and I think you'll make a good choice. This is the Bald Guy wishing you a wonderful mowing season this spring.